Extender is a tool designing secondary beams using primary beams as a reference. For optimal performance, it's recommended to align the beams in a single plane. The tool manages two sets of beams, primary beams that form the structure, and secondary beams for splitting or extending. Primary beams divide secondary beams into segments or serve as a guide for extending them. In beam selection mode, if the toggle is on, first select the primary beams, then secondary beams, confirming each selection with a mouse wheel click. This results in two sets, primary beams, selected first, and secondary beams, selected second. With the toggle off, all beams are selected together. The first selected beam sets the direction for primary beams, and others with a different direction are categorized as secondary. Divide with primary beams option splits secondary beams at intersections with primary ones. With Add to Parent Assembly, any new beams created during splitting are integrated into the parent assembly. Extend to primary beams lengthens secondary beams to the nearest primary beam. Combining divide with primary beams with extend to primary beams allows for comprehensive beam modification. This is particularly effective with the mode-oriented bounding box activated, where splitting and extending consider the beam's bounding geometry, not just the central line. Oriented bounding box pairs well with create a fitting. When primary and secondary beams aren't perpendicular, it automatically generates a fitting for the secondary beam. Beam min length ensures any beams created or modified during editing and shorter than the minimum length are automatically removed. Finally, the gap option sets an additional space between primary and secondary beams, ensuring structural integrity and ease of maintenance.